Hey everyone, welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. I'm your host, Tony Edward. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button as well as a thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please be sure to follow and leave a 5-star rating. Okay, folks, let's start with Bitcoin because the bulls are back in control. On the daily chart, the MACD has officially flipped back bullish after flipping bearish just on Friday. And as we talked about in yesterday's podcast, as well as my newsletter today, epic fake out here by Bitcoin. So good sign. Bitcoin at the time of recording is at $80,324. This is the first time we've touched 80K since January. We've of course been in a downtrend and then we hit a bottom at 58K and we've been in a relief rally since then. This relief rally has been playing out for a long time and it looks like we got room for Bitcoin to continue to move up. How high? That's the big question. We could top out at 82, 84K, maybe 85. Some analysts are saying Bitcoin could overshoot to the 90K range. We shall see, but the higher the better because it means that if there is a correction that we're not going to see 50K or 40K. I'm not ruling it out entirely because we're talking probabilities here, but the higher Bitcoin goes, I think the lower the probability we're going to go revisit 50K or 40K as some analysts are saying. Now, when I say these things, you have people in the comments, they start acting childish and they leave low IQ comments. But the point is, I'm sharing all scenarios with you and we're talking probabilities because no one has a crystal ball. So very bullish what we're seeing here. We do have to make sure we watch the stock market because that is in the overbought zone, both the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. And if the stock market starts correcting heavily, it has the gravitational pull where you can pull Bitcoin and altcoins down with it. So let's continue to monitor what happens this week into next week. But I like what I'm seeing here. And the RSI and the daily chart is not in the overbought zone as yet. So we got some room to run up here. The weekly chart for Bitcoin looking really great, guys. So this is also a confirmation as to, look, if Bitcoin runs up to 85 and then pulls back, I don't think we're going that low just because we're seeing the strength. We're seeing the momentum here. We're on the weekly. We have officially flipped bullish on the MACD and the RSI is in the neutral area. It is not in the oversold or the overbought in the middle. So there's room to run here. And on the monthly chart, this looks really good as well. The RSI is turning the curve here, moving on the upside, similar to the levels we've seen at previous bear market bottoms. And the MACD shows the bears are losing momentum with the red candles getting lighter and smaller. So guys, I think this year, we could see a rebound. And look, markets could always fake us out, but as long as we use the metrics and the data, and not emotions, I think we can safely say that, we're going to see potentially a big rally as we head later into the year. I've been saying my thesis is I don't believe Trump, with a new Fed chair coming in, is going to go into the midterm elections with the markets in the dumpster, both crypto and the stock market or the economy. I think they're going to start to ramp up QE. When exactly that happens this year, I don't know. It could be late summer, maybe into early Q3. And I think they're going to cut rates as well. So let's wait and see. But I mean, the charts are showing some really good things here, guys. And I think the majority of the downside is complete. And, we didn't have that great of a bull market. So maybe we won't have as bad of a bear market, right? I think it's logical to say that. Obviously, nothing's guaranteed, but I like what I'm seeing on the monthly and the weekly. And the daily still looking good. Obviously, this is very much in the short term, but and look, the price of Bitcoin just went to $80,495. Maybe it can go to 81 tonight or by tomorrow. So some good things here. And I believe once Bitcoin, let's say, hits the overbought zone, I think we could see liquidity rotate into altcoins, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, and others. So let's see. Again, not guaranteed, right? Just looking at the charts, looking at the data, and seeing what's happening here. Now, we continue to see folks are buying the dips, right? And also raising capital to buy more Bitcoin, ETH, and building out treasuries. So Capital B raises $1.3 million from Adam Back for Bitcoin strategy. So Capital B, that's the name of the company. Actually, the words capital and the letter B raised 1.1 million euros, which is equivalent to 1.28 million, through a warrant issuance subscribed by Blockstream CEO Adam Back, extending the cryptographer's backing of the French-listed Bitcoin treasury company. Back subscribed to 10 million subscription warrants at 13 cents each, according to a Monday announcement from Capital B. Each warrant gives back the right to buy one new share of future company stock at the exercise price of 98 cents, corresponding to the company's market net asset value of 1.1 per share, the company said. So capital is flowing here, guys. The buying of the dip is happening. We've been talking about Michael Saylor, of course, and as well as Tom Lee at Bitmine. They bought hundreds of thousands of ETH last week, straight from the Ethereum treasury. So these guys are gearing up for higher prices. They're not doing this to lose money. And I think, if everything holds according to what I've been talking about with the thesis with Trump and the midterm elections and the economy and so forth, we're going to see a rebound. Could we hit new all-time highs this year for Bitcoin and some alts? It's possible. I would say it's not highly probable, though. I think it will happen in 2027. Now, moving ahead, folks, Western Union has officially launched their stablecoin USDPT on Solana. Now, many of you may recall I interviewed the VP of Digital Assets at Western Union, Malcolm Clark, a couple of months ago, and we talked about Western Union's strategy, but it's incredible the names that are getting involved here. Banks, stock exchanges, payment companies, money transfer companies, and they're building with the technology. So this is why I've been saying for years, the future capital markets, economies, and governments will all run on blockchain rails, and we are in the building phase. So don't get distracted by the price being down. Have the macro view and be patient, guys. Look at what's being built, and they're using public blockchains. So if you're looking to invest, you want to look at which projects are getting the utility, the use cases on them, Solana being one of them. I hold a SOL token in my portfolio. Now, the stablecoin was issued by Anchorage Digital, and it was integrated directly into Western Union's infrastructure across 200 plus countries. Incredible. Most recently, I interviewed the head of crypto at PayPal. They also just integrated their stablecoin PYUSD across many other markets. So incredible what's being built. It's so incredible. Now, here's some big news. The Deposit Trust and Clearing Corporation, the DTCC, which processes $114 trillion annually, is targeting a July pilot and October launch for a tokenized securities platform. Now, if you know the DTCC, they are a powerhouse, man, huge. So this is massive. Now, this is not new news. We knew that they were going to do this, and now we're getting the actual tentative dates, right? So the pilot goes live in July and then an October launch. Now, which blockchain are they building on? The Canton network. And many of you know I've been talking about that for a while. I have that in my portfolio, that coin. I will continue to add it, with this type of adoption. Plus, Canton is backed by many Wall Street firms. So huge news here, not financial advice. Obviously, do your own research. I'm just sharing what's in my portfolio and how I approach this. Obviously, one of the key indicators, as I mentioned, is getting adoption from real world companies and building real solutions here. So this is awesome news. Now, a great place where you can invest in Bitcoin and altcoins is on iTrust Capital, and you can do it via an IRA where you get huge tax advantages. Not only crypto, but you can invest in precious metals like gold and silver, which obviously performed incredibly well in this past 2 to 3 years. So you can invest in 90 plus crypto assets, Bitcoin, and all the top altcoins. And you can also get access to stable coins like Ripple's RLUSD and Circle's USDC, and precious metals like gold and silver. And if you have an existing IRA or 401k, you can simply roll it over to iTrust version, and you can buy and sell both asset classes 24/7. It's low cost, no monthly fee. And folks, you get the huge tax advantages. So if you have the long-term view, this is certainly an option that you need to look into. They also offer a great custodial service called Premium Custody Account, which uses institutional grade crypto custody, such as Coinbase Prime, which BlackRock leverages. They also use Fidelity Digital Assets and other platforms. And this is a closed loop system. So if someone hacks into your account, they can't withdraw anything. It's low fees and you can operate in it 24/7. So two great solutions here, guys, that you need to check out. I have an account with them. So again, if you got that long-term view and you want to get the tax advantages, you got to go with the IRAs. So check out iTrust Capital. If you sign up with my link, you can get $100 funding bonus. Go take a look, see if it's for you, and give it a try, guys. This is a great option. So link will be in the description. Go to itrustcapital.com/go/thinking crypto. Now, folks, you give a mouse a cookie and it will ask for a glass of milk. You know that stablecoin yield compromise that the crypto industry and the banks came together on? Well, all of a sudden, the banking groups released a statement today criticizing the compromise on stablecoin yield, with Senator Tom Tillis and Angela Alsobrooke saying it falls short of protecting bank deposits. These banks, man, sneaky, right? All of a sudden it was, oh yeah, we got the compromise. Let's move forward. And no, we change our minds. This doesn't give us what we want, right? Yet it is giving them what they want. It's blocking the majority of consumers from being able to get stablecoin yield, because the updated language only allows consumers to get stablecoin yield if the stablecoin is in some sort of utility. It can't just be sitting there, right? But again, this goes back to what's the crux of the issue here. This is about the banks taking your deposits, parking it at the Fed, earning 4%, and they pocket the majority of that, 90 something percent of it, and they give you 0.01%. They give you the breadcrumbs. They get the big bonuses, you get nothing. That's the crux of this, right? We've talked about it ad nauseum, and you can see, all of a sudden they're like, oh no, this falls short of protecting our deposits, which is such bullshit, right? Eleanor Terry reported that the joint statement from Senator Tom Tillis and Senator Brooks on the stablecoin yield compromise amid pushback from the bank trades, signaling the deal is final. They said, we respectfully agree to disagree. So they're pushing back, saying, no, that's it. It's final. But you can see these banks up to no good here, right? Trying to backtrack and they could have multiple agendas. They really want to kill stablecoin yield, but also, they could be trying to hold up the Clarity Act as much as possible, because many of them are still playing catch up. Don't get me wrong. These banks are doing stablecoins, tokenizing, launching crypto custody, trading, and much more, but they're behind the curve, right? You have companies like Ripple and Coinbase and Circle and Anchorage and BitGo, and all these guys are ahead. So if the Clarity Act gets passed, they would have an advantage against the banks, who are the incumbents. For years, they've been trying to slow crypto down. I think they weaponized Gary Gensler and Elizabeth Warren, and that was, the whole Operation Choke Point 2.0 and much more. So again, we know the game that's being played here, but these banks, all of a sudden, we don't like this. It doesn't protect our deposits. But, last week it was, oh yeah, it was great. This is great. Now, right? But it looks like these senators are pushing back. Like they're not going to budge on this. So let's see what happens. Now, on Polymarket, which is a prediction market, of course, there's a 64% chance President Trump signs the crypto market structure legislation into law this year. So it jumped, and this is per, the compromise, and the bill is going to move ahead to the markup phase. So things are looking better. Obviously, we want to make sure that it gets past the markup phase, it gets voted, and then goes to President Trump's desk. The voting part, I could see Elizabeth Warren and some of her cronies start to push back, but this is where we're going to have to fight. So hopefully we can get this done, guys, before the midterm elections, because come the fall, nothing's going to happen, and we're going to have to wait. I'm not panicking on this, because I think as long as it happens within President Trump's administration, where once he's out of office, someone who comes in who's a Democrat or a Republican that may be anti crypto or against crypto because they're getting lobbied by the banks, they could undo a lot of what the SEC and CFTC have done with regards to rulemaking. Don't get me wrong, it won't be easy. It's going to be hard, but still, if it's not ironclad in law, right, passed by Congress and signed by the president, then it's going to be fairly easy. Now, if it becomes law, the Clarity Act puts that seal of approval on it, it's going to be hard for them to do anything. So We do have to get the bill done, but I don't believe that it must get done this year. I think I would like it to get done because I think it'd be good for the bull market, right? We've been talking about kicking off the super cycle. However, it's not the end of the world if it doesn't. As long as the agencies, the SEC and the CFTC, the OCC, and others are putting out the guidance that are pro crypto, we're going to be good. Okay, moving ahead. Coinbase boosts Solana trading with DFlow integration. So the move also increases liquidity on tokens that were previously untradeable and improves the prices users receive. The DFlow aggregator, which services over 1 million active traders per month, was tapped by prediction market giant Kalshi in December. So we're seeing Coinbase and many of the exchanges continue to innovate, and they're improving trading. It looks like doing a lot here to help different tokens to have liquidity and trade better. So this is really great. And it says here, this would allow traders to exchange value across spot and prediction markets natively on Solana. So again, another example of Solana getting adoption. So this is why I have it in my portfolio, and I will continue to add because it is getting adoption, and that's what you want to see. Now, I'm diversified. I have XRP, I have ETH, I have Bitcoin in my portfolio, and some others like AVAX as well, Canton Network I mentioned earlier. Moving ahead, Shopify and National Bank of Canada are among the backers of a new digital currency built to settle trades 24/7. Guys, crypto is a global asset class, and despite what's happening with the price, these massive institutions are building. Look at what they're doing, and the end goal, the direction the puck is heading in, is the token economy, 24/7, 365 trading, truly global markets, liquidity coming in from all sides, fractionalization, and the ability to put many of these assets into DeFi and create new financial products. Everybody's on the same page here. It's just the matter of building and getting the regulations in place. So that's where we're at, guys. And this is why I've been saying when all these things are moving forward and they hit certain milestones, the super cycle is going to kick off. So Tetra Trust launched CADD, the first Canadian dollar pegged stablecoin from a regulated Canadian financial institutions approved by Alberta Treasury Board and Finance. CADD is aimed at institutional use for 24/7 cross-border settlement, real-time corporate treasury, and direct fintech transfers, replacing old batch systems. The token is, listen to this, the token is live on Base, Ethereum, Tempo with Solana support planned. Its launch is backed by the consortium, including Shopify and the National Bank of Canada. Now, going back to what I'm talking about, which tokens should you invest in? Look at what they name, Base, which is an Ethereum layer 2. There's no token there, but if it's feeding into the Ethereum's network, it's benefiting ETH. So you want to hold the ETH token. They mentioned Tempo. I believe that's an Ethereum layer 2 as well, and Solana. So you can hold ETH and Solana here, right? So that's how you take your bets. And eventually, when some of these assets become tokenized, you can invest in the tokenized assets, put them to work in DeFi. Maybe they give you yield and much more. So these are things to think about as the asset class matures and you think about diversifying. And I will certainly share, the things that I'm doing. Now, Trump, World Liberty Financial continues the drama. We all know recently Justin Sun accused them of some things they've done wrong. They got called out with, some of the tokens they minted and then took a loan. Really shady stuff. You all know how I feel about this. This and the meme coin. I wish the president would completely distance himself, but we can't do anything. He's the president and he's elected and no one can keep him accountable when it comes to this. So this really sucks. But look, and this is going to trigger a lot of people. Some people worship politicians. I don't worship politicians. I'm an independent. I hold them accountable. So if a Democrat was doing this, I'll give them hell as well. So I don't care who it is. And this is the problem we have. And this type of stuff hurts the market. But Trump's family, World Liberty Financial, they're now suing Justin Sun, Tron Foundation or Tron founder. So what a mess, right? And recently the president had some sort of event for his meme coin, which is down like 98%. And I'm just like, bro, stop. Please stop. Focus on running the country versus this crap, right? And it is what's really bad is the meme coin is the worst thing you could do in crypto. Not to mention his wife, the first lady Melania, she had her own, and that's down 90 something percent as well. So this all gives us a bad name, because people out there many times just read headlines. This is what they see. They attach crypto to just Donald Trump when it's just a technology. I don't want it associated with Democrats. I don't want it associated with Trump, Elizabeth Warren, or whoever. I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from. This is not a political statement. This is not an anti-Trump statement. It's just the situation. Again, I don't care if it was Biden, whoever. Just stop, please. And unfortunately, it is what it is at this point. I don't know what we can do here, but maybe we just keep putting the pressure and put say, hey, stop, right? And look, I don't know how this plays out in the election. So we shall see how this plays out. It might get messy. I don't know if Justin Sun might back down if it gets too crazy. And Trump, I don't know if he get a pardon or something along those lines from Trump at one point. So who knows? But again, I wish the president and whoever's advising him, they would just stay away from these crypto things. I don't have a problem, for example, with his son like Eric, or Don Jr., doing the Bitcoin, American Bitcoin, because they're actually building a business. They're putting, it's hard to manipulate that. But the meme coin stuff, high potential for manipulation and much more. So anyway, guys, I digress. Folks, that's the news. Let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't as yet. Be sure to support the podcast by subscribing to my free email newsletter. I put out a write-up today. You got to check it out. Different charts and much more. Again, it's 100% free on Substack. Be sure to grab a copy of my book on Amazon. It's available in paperback and digital. And check out my course at mycryptocourse.com. This is a comprehensive course that teaches you everything you need to know about crypto and blockchain tech. It features expert commentary, which no other crypto course offers. And right now, we got a bear market sale going on. You get 50% off the price if you use the code BEAR, BEAR, at checkout. So go to mycryptocourse.com to learn more. All the links will be in the description. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you all later.